Martian Man TV, everybody, welcome in. Let's talk about it on today's edition of Martian Man TV. And in our feature presentation, we're talking about Chris Brown, aka Chris Breezy. You know what I'm talking about? AKA Mac on Yo Baby Mama, $4,000 picture. I don't know Chris Brown personally, but on outside looking in, regardless of his flaws as a man, he don't give off the vibe like he got to be too aggressive with a female or he got to take it. How about that? And I know in the past sometimes we be fooled with that, but for the most part with this situation, I'm standing on it. So Chris Brown is suing Warner Brothers for defamation of character for a documentary that they brought out, like the violence of Chris Brown, or they just insinuate that he aggressive and he's guilty of the R word and sexual assault, and it's like a Jane Doe on there, like in the dark, trying to be secretive, claiming she exposing something that he did in 2020 or 21. So it's reminding me of the whole Diddy situation where we not taking they side wholeheartedly, but I don't believe everything. So I'm confident about the Chris Brown situation to the point where I salute him for suing Warner Brothers and actually doing something about it. Not sent back, just going with the flow. They made an aggressive documentary about Chris Brown. He coming aggressive with his lawyers to come get that bag. He's suing them for $500 million. If you don't know, Martian Man TV with Marquise Walker just told you. That's what's going on right now with the whole Chris Brown situation. I watched the documentary somewhat, but I knew the documentary. A lot of people feel like when you watch a documentary, you put a lot of emotional attachment to it, or mentally you feel like you connect with it. You know, they show you images. They allegedly interview people that was around that particular person, or giving us insight about this person that we don't see, but exposing allegedly their behavior behind the scenes. Like, documentaries was meant to be a truth, to present something to the audience or to the viewer or to the consumer, if you want to look at it from a business perspective, something that you could view to give you a deeper insight into that person. You know, we got a lot of documentaries that don't necessarily mean that they're 100% truth. It could be some lies, it could be some entanglements, it could be some confusion. So, you know, you got the R. Kelly documentary that came out, then R. Kelly got locked up, Diddy got locked up first, and then all these documentaries and docuseries that came out about Diddy. So I've had caught wind about the Chris Brown one, and I'm like, just the title alone, like the violence of Chris Brown. I'm like, what? Like, is they still talking about the him and Rihanna situation? Like, they was young. So we not gonna hold that against Chris Brown's whole career, and we definitely not gonna hold it against his whole legacy. You know what I mean? And it don't represent or tarnish his whole legacy because he made a mistake and put his hands on Rihanna, or she put her hands on Chris Brown. You know, we're not gonna do that. We did that 8, 9, 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Since then, Chris Brown ain't been getting into no type of weird situations. Karuchi ain't none of them other females ever came forward and said, yeah, man, Chris was aggressive and abusive and yada yada this, and he did this to me. So when these random allegations come out, And once again, Chris Brown is innocent until proven guilty. But in this situation, like I said, he's suing Warner Brothers for defamation of character. Him and his lawyer saying that there's no concrete evidence or credibility. There ain't no truth to that. According to Chris Brown, ain't no truth to that story in regard to him in that situation. So how is it a big documentary about it? You know, that's how Chris Brown looking at it. Like, how is it a documentary about me and Warner Brothers produced this? So is that business part of the game too? Like, you got, like, TMZ didn't produce some things behind the scenes. So when you go after these companies or these brands, sometimes when you suing them, you got to go for the main counterpart or entity. In this case, it was Warner Brothers. It could have been some low budget or some type of production company, but overall, they came through the Warner Brothers situation. So to me, that's smart what Chris Brown doing. And he's making an example what all was going on right now with the allegations. And every time we look up, allegedly, this entertainer did this to this female, or the whole Me Too movement. So once again, I'm not pointing fingers or taking sides in a sense. I don't promote victimization. I don't promote men disrespecting or abusing women or assaulting women in any kind of way. But just saying, I'm with Chris. I don't believe you're guilty of it. You know what I mean? It's a lot going on with our entertainers. A$AP Rocky, he in trouble. He ain't take the plea deal. They tried to offer him 180 days in jail, and allegedly he facing years in prison, and he passed up on that. I respect A$AP Rocky for that, just like I respect Chris Brown. Fight it. Don't just allow the circus to go, or don't just be part of the dog and the pony show. Run it. Run it. So if Warner Brothers was responsible for putting out this documentary and the allegations and the research wasn't concrete, wasn't valid, wasn't no hard facts, wasn't no truth to it, no way they was supposed to drop no documentary like that. And Chris Brown could have ignored it, like, okay, it ain't true, but why do that? Why do that? Then everybody or other production companies or other heavy hitter names or labels gonna come with their little documentaries to defamate other artists. And it may don't be true, but they gotta let it slide or let it ride for whatever reasons. So I like the Chris Brown. Like I said, they made a video about him being aggressive. He flipped it on them, and now he got aggressive with his lawyers to say, we suing y'all for $500 million. So Chris, shouts out to you, man. You definitely motivation for Martian Man TV. You definitely motivation for Marquise Walker. You definitely motivation, period. You know, not just being a black man or a man of color. Just you being a man, period, and doing something that you feel like you got a strong belief in. And you, like Chris said, it ain't no truth to the docuseries. So why would he fall back and just be quiet about it and let people point fingers and make judgment towards him? You know, without him saying, hey, now it would have been one thing, in my opinion, if Chris Brown was really guilty, he probably would have fell back on it. But as he said, and his lawyers is saying, it's all lies. And the things that they said about him, including the R word, you gotta have strong evidence to make a statement like that, you know? So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe. Don't cost you nothing. Definitely hit that like to get this video rolling with the YouTube algorithm, and so my videos could be, spread out and exposed. It's much appreciated. Much love, peace, and blessings to everybody. And much love to the Most High always. And praises. So, we out.